So here for question 23, we have Jesse earning 9.50 per hour. So let's write that right away. 9.50. H is the designated letter here. So she also earns a one-time bonus every month. So plus 60. Because that's more money. So we add. Okay. And she needs to earn more than 460. So greater than, it's almost given to us in words, greater than 460. Okay, so first, A, create an inequality. We already have it right there. So let's create the inequality right away. Without further ado, 9.50 hours plus the bonus, and they nice, has to be greater than 460. So just like that, we've done, shouldn't have only one decimal point, no? Okay. Interesting. That's how it writes. Okay. So now what would be the value of H, right? Enter the minimum whole number. Okay, so we need to round up to the next whole number. So to solve this inequality, what do? We take away 60 from each side of the inequality sign. So let's take away 60. Where am I drawing? So let's take away 60 from there and 60 from here, and that's 400. So 9.50H is equal to 400. That was easy to subtract 60 from 460, 400. Let's bring up our calculator. Why not? Why do it by hand when we're not in 6th grade anymore? So 400, now we need to divide by 9.5. So 400 over 9.5. I've been having trouble seeing my decimal points when I write them, but you know they are there. Okay, so it says 42.1. Will 42.1 be enough? Or do we need 43? Will 42 be enough? No, 42 is not enough because you have a little extra there, so she needs to work more than 42 hours. Remember, this is greater than that. So my answer has to be 43, obviously. So we're not rounding with the rules of rounding. We're rounding as they say. Actually, we are, or we're not, but this is like human beings. We don't have 42.105. If we're talking about entire hours by the unit, the number of hours is 43. And that's exactly what we're gonna type right here. 43 is the right answer, not 42. Don't make a simple mistake like that and lose everything you did for. Let me clear and move on. To question 24 we go. Okay, so what's going on here? Eric wants to create a scale drawing a house, and we can clearly see a rectangle that is 60 feet by 40 feet. The scale drawing needs to fit on a piece of paper that is 6 inches wide, but it has to be at least 3 inches wide. So each one of this is 1 inch. So we need it to be at least 3, but 3 is enough. So what happens if I add a point here? Like I said, if I add a point, not if I delete a point, and I make it 3, that's the minimum it has to be. Then 60 would be, it would be 20 each. Each little square would represent 20 as we go 20, 40, 60. And 40 feet would be 20 and 40. All right, this time I did make a rectangle. You can fill in the line later. The point being is that 1 inch is equal to 20 feet. So let me drag here. I think it's 2. Let me drag the 0. Like that. Let me truly drag it. So each little square is 20 feet, and that would qualify with at least 3 inches, and not for 6 inches. And every inch is 20 feet, giving you a 60 by 40. With that scale, 1 inch in the box represents 20 feet of the rectangle. That's it. Moving on. Okay, 2,000 packets of chocolate, and in 100 packets, 5 are incorrect. So that's 5%. So the question is, what is 5% of 2,000? I can multiply 2,000 times 5%, which is 0.05, remember. So 0.5 is 50%. So 0.05 is 5%. Times 2,000 is 100. Enough said, enough done. 100 is the answer. I'm glad we're moving along. Next question. This question has 3 parts. No worries. We're only gonna do one at a time anyway. Vanessa has added 40 gallons of water to her new fish pond in her backyard and wants to add more water, and it can hold a maximum of 256. Her garden hose can add 48 gallons of water in 2 minutes. Careful here. I need to know how many in 1 minute. So if it's 48 in 2 minutes, that means that it's going to be 24, half of 48. 24 every minute, that will give you 48 every 2 minutes. So if we have 24M and then we add the 40 that we already had to begin with, it didn't disappear, it's still there. It says that it has to be, we cannot go to the maximum. So the maximum is 256. So this has to be less, cannot even be less than or equal to, because it cannot be 256. Less than 256. Okay, part 1 is creating an inequality. I think we got that covered. Probably part 2 is finding what M is, how many minutes. So I can tell you that's what's gonna be. So 24M plus 40 has to be less than the complete 100% capacity of 256. Done with part 1. We're gonna need that to come down with us. Okay, so now we need to solve for M. Let's see if we have room here. Yes, we do. Let's take away 40 from each side of the equation. And we're gonna find out that 24M is equal to 216. Now let's bring the calculator to divide 216 divided by 24. Guess what? It's equal to 9. She can go up to 9 minutes, but not 9. So how do we graph that? I say we graph it really simple, like that. Moving, let me erase some of this stuff. Yep, so that's the graph. And now having this graph, we know that the solution is all the numbers that are up to 8.9099. So because the arrow goes to the left, so yes. So 8 counts, 7 is a solution, but not 10. You cannot even go to 9. So part C, the easiest part. Select the amounts of time that are less than 9. Okay, so I have 7 and 7.5 and nothing else. So that's it. That's it. We found the all big 3 parts. We just nailed it. So that's part 1, your equation. Part 2, the graph. When we solve, M is less than 9. And so the minutes less than 9 are 7 and 7.5. That's it. Tell me something more. Okay, fine. We have a right angle, right? How many degrees is a right angle? If you said 90, you're correct. So 90 degrees. And what is made up of 90 degrees? Three different angles. One is an X, the second angle is an X, and the angle that we're interested in, L and M, we can go from L to N down to M. That's the angle that has three of them, X's. So if you have one X, think about your X as in your significant X friend or whatever. This is math, so it's easy to think if you had one X and then another X, and then at one time you had three X's. Altogether, you have, how many X's do you have? You have five X's, right? 1, 2, and 3 more is 5. That's gonna be equal to 90. And again, we're gonna use the calculator fast and confident. If it shows up, there it is. 90 divided by 5. So each X is worth 18. Whatever you want to fill in the words, 18 what? That's between you and your X, okay? So each X is 18, but we're looking for the angle that has three X's all at once. So that's going to be 3 times 18, right? Do I need to, so if I have X, one X is worth 18, you fill in the bad words or good words for that. So multiplying both sides by 3, I'm going to get that 3x is equal to 18 times 3. 3 times 18. So why don't I do that in a calculator rather than do it mentally, which I could faster than a calculator. Haha. But why? When I have a calculator, I didn't have it last year in 6th grade. Now I do, so I'm going to use it. I'll show you. And I knew, of course, that the answer was 54, but I didn't want to tell you and show off. So 54 is what we write. So here I'm going to write 54. What am I going to write here? What equation can be used to solve for x? 5x is equal to 9. That's what we used. That's how we found. And we're done. Okay, excellent. Coming up to the end, so I think you need to hang with me as this is the end. You don't want to round third base and go to home plate and quit and not score the run. You already ran this far. Let's go. And believe it or not, you did it. You made it to home plate. You scored a run or 2 or 3. I don't know how many parts this is, but congratulations. Go ahead and practice. Give yourself the same questions with slightly different numbers and see if you know how to, if you know the steps, you will be able to answer any question and score a 5 or a 4, even a 3 if you didn't study that hard, but do study hard. That's all I have.